Welcome back to the channel. Remember guys, safety first.
Today, we are going to be making a remote-controlled wheelchair for a Halloween prop.
Stay tuned. Alright guys, laid out in front of you on the table here, I believe I have all the components we need to make this happen. So we have this radio controller with a receiver. We have a 12-volt lithium iron phosphate battery, which we will then reposition probably to be the backrest or the seat. And then we have these two motors from a larger motorized wheelchair. Up here we have the motor driver, bolts, and then 3D printed adapters to the wheels for the motors. And then these guys are for mounting the motors to the frame. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get the wheelchair up on the table here, and we're gonna take off both wheels. And then we have to do a little bit of modification in order to get those adapters to sit in there. Once we get the adapters to sit in there, we will take and glue them in with some epoxy, probably going to use some JB Weld just to get it to bond in there real good. So let's get the wheelchair up on here, onto the surgery bench, and get some work going. Alright. On this particular wheelchair, we have a outside cap, so we need to pop that off with a flathead screwdriver. Here you go. Can't hurt it, so go ahead and just pry up. You can give it a little twist. There it goes. And here we go. Got it, and it popped right off.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and set that guy down. Okay. Next thing we need, these are 5/8 bolts. All right, so I'm gonna hold this guy on the bottom here. You gotta push the little button on the back. There you go. Now it's locked in where it won't fly off. Okay. So now, I'm gonna hold that, and then you take and break this guy loose.
Oh, wrong way. Right?
Going this way?
Yeah?
Yeah, that's the right way. That's loose. Okay, go ahead. So I'm just gonna break it loose. All right, here you go.
Thank you.
You don't have to keep going in circles. You can just go forward, back, with the ratchet. Okay, good. Okay, let me see the ratchet. Now, we're gonna pull that bolt out, the wheels off. What do you think we need to do next?
Take out the ball bearing, or?
Well, we do need to take off the ball bearing, you're right, because these guys need to go in here. So in order to do that, we're gonna have to tap out the bearings. We're gonna use that screwdriver. There's a little spacer in the middle here, which means that we have a ledge for this to sit on. So we're gonna take and give it a tap. Boom.
$1 for bearing down.
Yep.
Hold on. There.
Okay, we're gonna flip this over.
That is a really nice ball bearing.
Okay.
Looks like we might keep this.
All right, and here you go. So you're gonna take this inner race right here, it's called a race, and then you're gonna tap it out.
Okay.
Here, you gotta do both. Okay, right there. Go ahead, hold it, you gotta hold it. Grip it with your whole hand, there you go. All right guys, so this is what I was talking about with we have to modify this. So you see all these little ledges right here? So these are to keep the bearing from seating too far in. On the other side, we have this huge lip. So the easiest thing for us to break out is these guys. So we'll take the screwdriver, chisel them out, and then we'll use a rotary file and grind them down a little bit. So we got them mostly knocked off of there. So we just got to take the rotary file and grind them down. Okay, squeeze. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. What I'm going to do is we're going to use JB Quick. So we're going to put some tape on the back of this and then use that as a mixing surface. You want to get 2 pieces of tape so it covers the whole back. So we need even parts. So same amount of one and the other, okay?
What if we do a little bit more than the other?
That's okay, just not too much. And then after you're done mixing, it should be a nice, even gray color. All right, I don't know what's going on with my GoPro. It's overheating and it shouldn't be. So we got this guy coated in the JB weld. And then like Wolfgang just said, that's right.
Hammer.
So we're just gonna bonk, 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 bonk. All right. Now remember how I said there's gonna be a little extra? So we need to take some paper towels and just wipe it up. Okay, so let's give it a few minutes and then we'll check on this. In the meantime, we'll take off the other wheel and do that one. So what I did is I printed these adapters. These are 3/8 on the inside and then 20 millimeters on the outside right here. And then, they just pop right in here.
Yeah, pop. Like, what my brain heard from that is like snap into place.
Almost, just about. It's supposed to be a little bit easier, but there's a little bit of misalignment between the front plate and the back plate. There'll be no actual popping sound.
So it'd be kind of satisfying.
It would be kind of satisfying. All right, so now we need it to be something like this right here. And I don't think we can take that out. Maybe if we rotate this the other way. Yeah, if we rotate it this way, we can get a little more slack. At the same time, I'm not sure that's gonna sit right. So let's take a look. What do you think, kiddo? This way?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Those, so we got to take them off, but these guys, we can't just leave it empty. That holds on the handlebars for pushing the wheelchair. Granted, we're not going to be using that because it's going to be motorized, but we still need to make it look like it is a regular wheelchair. That's the whole goal, right? Make it look like it's possessed?
Yeah.
All right. We got to take this bolt off because this is one of the spots we need to mount the upper bolt. Hold on, let me see if I...
Oh, that's so much better.
There we go.
And now it's just this chair. Look,
That's right.
it's just
And we don't
a
need
chair.
this for strength. This will just be in our way for now, so we can just throw it to the side.
You know, we can just like use it to mess around.
That we can.
Like,
All right. So now there's only one way this fits because it's got 3 bars and this is exactly equally spaced. We're gonna take this guy and we're gonna clamp it on here so it can't move around on us. Then we're gonna drill to 3/8 across here. Now, go ahead and get a washer on here. Make sure that this is big enough. Yep.
Are you afraid of the dark? Are you scared? I am you.
Alright, now tighten this down from back end. So that's one side done. You want to put the glue on right now?
We'll see how it goes.
Well, I think we need to take these guys off because we need to flip it. Because this is the inside. We need that on the outside. Keep going until you got it. Oh, one click. That's fine. All right, cool. So now, flip this guy over. Take off this retaining nut.
And just
Almost, just about, right? All right, so now, all right, luckily I had a smaller washer. So now we just gotta insert it, which we already did, and then get the nut on here. Okay. And then it's in with nylock, so it's good. All right, one down. Now we gotta get the other motor on here.
I want to ride this around a bit with using my hands to roll it, but then afterwards using the remote control.
Yep,
Fix
you
that
get to do
somehow.
that.
Oh, hi. It's me again. I missed you. You remember me, right? I'm not only there at night. You seem a little nervous in your head. It's like a creepy circus. Are you ready for the show? Now tell me, where did all your courage go? I'm back. Boo.
Looks like we're almost done. Now the only thing we need is that giant 12-foot skeleton from Lowe's. Walmart.
And what else?
Some electronics.
Yeah. Let's get it on the ground and you can sit in it. Let me grab it because now with both motors on it's going to be a little on the heavy side.
Okay. Alright, time to
It's not
test.
heavy, it's just heavier.
Time to test this out.
Oh my goodness.
I've never actually. Oh, this is interesting.
So next thing we're going to do, we're going to take off this padded mat. We're going to put this back on afterwards, but we're going to take the plywood, cut it down to the same width, and then screw the plywood down in place of this with the padding on top of the plywood. We're going to mount the electronics to the bottom of the plywood.
Oh, so that's what you meant.
That is what I meant. All right, folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss this up on here so we can keep working on it. We'll pick it back up tomorrow and get started on the electronics. Hopefully that controller I bought is good enough to drive these motors with a person on them, because that'd be fun too. To get started on the electronics, we need a good starting base. So we need to get rid of this foam pad right here. and then we're gonna replace it with the plywood. So I need to measure out and cut some plywood. All right, so let's take these screws out and remove this panel. All right, so on this guy, we just gotta hold it in place. We're gonna line it up so it's matched up top and bottom. We're gonna take through the holes, use our Sharpie, and mark up where the fasteners need to go.
Helicopter, helicopter.
Alright, so now we got a good starting base, right?
Yep. We're deciding which face we should put the batteries on.
And exactly where to put them on too. Alright, let's design up the brackets and we'll get them printing, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so the batteries, we're gonna mount them in this orientation up on the front end right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out about 2 inches, 3 inches from the edge, and then screw this down on this side, and then same thing on this side. All right, so that we don't get a short when this could potentially come into contact with this side, we're gonna tape this down on this end with 2 spacers. That way it's nice and even, good padding, good support for when we put the second battery in here. And then we'll do a loop over and then connect both ends to some cable that we can then feed into the controller board. Alright, so now we'll take the second battery down here and we'll get it mounted up here. Second battery up here. It's gonna go this way. We have this already mounted for the cable. So all we gotta do is connect up the upper portion without short-circuiting this. No big deal, right?
Explosion!
Are you serious? Hold on, let me get the wrench on it. Alright, so we have the batteries mounted, right?
Yep.
Alright, can you click the camera off?
Whoa, that did a spin. Alright.
Alright, so now that we have all this up here, I guess we should ops check it. So we're gonna connect the negative to negative, positive to positive, and there we go. And that spins about 5.5 miles an hour. All right, so that all works. I guess next step.
Electronics.
Electronics. All right.
This part does not fit the desired cable size, and it only works at 10 amps. So we're gonna have to get a different board.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a U board. It is gonna be basically the same thing except rated for 30 amps. It's gonna still be an RC board, and I'm gonna put the part number right up right here.
Oh, it's appearing. Ah, there it is.
Perfect. All right. And then we'll pick this back up probably next weekend when the part arrives. Still got plenty of weeks before Halloween, so a lot of time.
2 weeks later.
Okay, so we got the parts.
What part did we get?
We got the circuits. I meant the circuit board that we needed.
You have a controller, a 30 amp controller, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and unbox it. So we have these cables for the RC. And then we have the board itself, and you can see much bigger terminals on here. So I think this is going to do us a whole lot better in the long run. All right, so let's toss on some end terminals onto those cables, and then we'll add some quick disconnects for the motors and go from there. You want to break them loose and you can take them out the rest of the way?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So let's go ahead. We'll take this board, mount it up on there. Move the wires this way. Probably sideways. let's see which one's which. Okay. So we're gonna say A is positive. Should B?
Negative.
So one of the things we're gonna have to do is I'm gonna go ahead and hook these hardwired on there, but later I'm gonna put a switch in on the negative terminal. But for testing it right now, we're going this way. So negative. What the? Okay, well, that wasn't good. Well, lesson learned. I had the red and the black wires switched for some reason when I installed this. So I hooked the polarities up backwards. I think I fried the board. So I'm going to do some probing and see if we can salvage it. Alright. With the polarity being connected backwards, looks like I blew out this guy right here, which is a GFK 2336. So I'm gonna see if I can get just replacement component to solder it in. If not, then I might just need to order a whole new board, which would suck. New control board, it has arrived. I verified it does work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire this in through a relay, and I have two bus bars. So we're going to do a positive and negative bus bar. That way it's completely separated, and then we can bring it back into the device. So we'll feed our positive and negative to the bus bars. All right, we have everything connected up. We have a switch in here, a relay, and then it goes to the driver board. So without the RC being hooked up, there's two buttons on the driver board on the Citroen where it lets you take and turn on the motors. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on right now, and then we're gonna test the motors, make sure everything is working, and maybe I will plug this guy back in. First, there we go. All right, on. Okay, everything's flashing good. So we got reverse, forward, actually forward, reverse. Yeah, forward, reverse. Same thing on the other side. All right, so ops check good. So next we get around to installing this guy right here. It is the receiver for remote control. Controller comes with the instructions, and it also comes with the little wires to connect everything up. We got an RC1 and an RC2. That's going to be our two channels. All right, for the controller, we should be getting power right from this board. So we need RC1, channel 1. All right, should be negative on the bottom side, and then positive, and then the switch. So negative, positive, Switch channel 1 and 2. And looks like we got power. Alright, let's go ahead and pair it to the controller and test it out. So let's go ahead and bind the receiver to our remote control here. In order to do that, first of all, get 4 AA batteries in here. Second of all, it comes with a little jumper cable. Now this grounds the signal wire, and this is going to the VCC port. So it's the furthest to the right. So we're going to jumper it. Now, we're going to turn on the power here. The LED will be rapidly flashing. That means the jumper is in binding mode. We're going to turn on the remote while holding this bind key right here. There we go. Okay. So we're going to have to play with the settings a little bit just to get it calibrated where it's not as responsive, because right now it's super twitchy. So we've got to turn down the sensitivity just a little bit. On the controller, in order to take and adjust the throttle response and everything, what you need to do is you take, click and hold OK. You get system setup, and then you have the function setup. So we're going to go to function setup. We're going to go down to endpoints if you want to cap how much is the maximum speed on there. So I capped it at 75%, sorry, 80%. So in order to adjust that, you go up and down, click OK, go to the next one, up and down. And then to save, here's the trick. Holding OK will take and reset it back to the original default value. You hit cancel, but you click and hold cancel, and that saves it. Now, for the response, because it was taking and it was jumping like full board as soon as we moved it a little bit, so you go to the throttle curve, click OK, and then you want to drop it back down to the number 1 being at like 5 to 10%, 2, 20, and then 30, 50, or even lower, depending on how fine of a control you want on the low end. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it down a little bit more, and then that should be pretty close to being ready, and then I'll go put it on the ground outside, and we'll roll it around.
I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before you know. Are you afraid of the dark? Are you scared? I am you.